I am with Joni Hilton, my friend, who is an author, a vlogger and blogger, and she is a successful mother, wife, former Miss California, and has a wonderful story and a wonderful life to tell. I admire you for what you've done in your life, Joni.
Fred.
Thank
you.
You have, we all have our little trips in life, but it seems like you just scathe through those times when you fall down and you get back up. I want to know a little bit about you first, how you grew up. I know you're from Southern California, generally speaking, and you have a wonderful husband by the name of Bob Hilton, and you guys had some memorable times in Hollywood and in Southern California that were just interesting parts of life.
Yeah, because he's a game show guy.
Yes, he is.
So yes, it was interesting.
And your life. Tell me about your life.
Well, okay, I was born in San Diego, was adopted by a wonderful couple who moved to Utah, and I grew up really in northern Utah in Logan and Salt Lake till middle of high school, and then moved to LA and was a Southern California.
One of those beach girls.
Yeah, from forevermore after that it was Southern California.
Okay, tell the truth. Did you wear one of those beach girl 1960s bikinis? Yes or no?
No.
Oh, okay. I just want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. I just want to know. Okay. Are there pictures?
Nope, sorry. You can't find any bikini shots of me.
Okay, I was just wondering. Hey, you grew up in Southern California during the 60s and 70s.
Guess what? I got to correct that because I did some swimsuit modeling, and some of those were bikinis.
Oh, okay.
But they weren't my bikinis.
Okay. Close enough. Those are hidden, though. We're not taking those
That's
out.
right.
Okay. All right, so you're a Southern California girl.
Yep. Pretty much. That's where I went to school, USC.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did some television work, right?
I did. I hosted a daily TV talk show for 4 years down there, which was really fun and interesting. You get to talk to so many people in LA because everybody's coming through or they live there. And so it was interesting. It was a fun thing. And I'm a blabbermouth. I would have talked for free. They didn't know that. In fact, I may talk longer. You will run out of gas before I run out of stories.
There we go. That's good. So you grew up in Southern California.
Right.
You did some television work. What specific? Was it KTLA? Was it what station?
No,
do you remember?
it was a what are the call letters?
It was one down there in Southern California.
It was one of them.
Okay.
It was so long ago I can't recall the call letters.
And then you went to school?
Yep, I did. I got a master's at USC in professional writing because from the time I picked up a pencil at age 7, I knew I wanted to be a writer.
And you're an author of how many books?
25.
Oh my heavens.
Yep, and some plays and lots of articles, and I do the YouTube mom thing. I do a lot of comedy writing too.
Yes.
Yeah, and
you still do. You have your own YouTube mom. It's called YouTube Mom.
Yeah, well, Joni Hilton, YouTube Mom. I'm on YouTube.
Okay.
And it's life hacks. You know how that came about? One of my kids said, none of my friends know how to do laundry or iron or cook things. What's happened? And I said, because their parents aren't teaching them. He said, you ought to go on YouTube and teach all this stuff, all these life skills. And so in very short little videos, I have hundreds of them on there.
That's excellent.
Yeah, it's fun. Excellent. It's fun. Yeah.
Okay, so your early years, you grew up in Southern California. You became Miss California, correct?
Correct.
And what helped you become Miss California? What parts of your life helped you become Miss
Okay,
California?
Here's what helped. When I was a little kid at church, we gave talks. And also on my own, I put on plays and stuff in the neighborhood, and I would narrate things at school. I was always a talker, but it helped me learn how to navigate the interviews and be poised and confident before I even ever got there. And so I think most of the interviews, that was again, my favorite part of the whole thing. Nobody likes putting on a swimsuit and pumps and walking down.
Right.
So, but talking to the judges was a blast. And so
Easy for you.
That part was easy.
Yes. Other parts are difficult in life, correct? Some are easy, some are difficult.
Yes.
And that's the way life kind of is. You've always told me, there's some things that you're really good at.
Oh yeah.
But some things you're really bad at.
And I am like an imperfectionist, Fred.
Yes.
And I embrace these dozens of things that I don't do well, and I'm cool with it. I will sing in front of anybody because I don't claim to be a professional singer. I'm just average, but I'm okay with that. I'm not embarrassed.
It's okay not to be the best at everything.
Yes. And I took a cake decorating class with my daughter one time, and I was working away trying to do this, and I looked up, and everybody had these beautiful cakes with these lovely rosettes, and mine looked like I did it when I was blindfolded. It was like, what happened to your cake?
But that's okay.
And it's totally okay.
Because you can go buy one.
Yes! And it's all about how it tastes anyway.
That's exactly right.
So, yeah, it's cool to be not so great at everything, because life's happier, and you put yourself under so much pressure if you have to be perfect at everything.
Exactly right.
So it's nice to just say, I'm okay that I'm not, number one at this and this and this and this, and also this and this.
And that helps you become successful in life.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And it helps you focus on what you know what you really are good at, and then that's where you're really going to contribute. I knew I wasn't going to contribute from the world of algebra.
Right.
Focused on the writing. Yeah.
So then you go forward in life and you meet a man by the name of Bob Hilton.
Saint Bob.
Okay, tell me about that.
Bob is so hilarious. Okay, he's great. Bob has hosted game shows and he's done news. He's a broadcaster guy. But he also has announced more game shows than anyone in announcing history.
Such as what?
All of them. You can't name one he hasn't announced. All of them. Price is Right, everything. And he's the one, when they say, Bob, tell them what they've won. He's that Bob.
He's the one, come on down.
Oh, yeah. He's that guy. And he's funny. We have 4 kids, 3 sons. One of our sons is like me, kind of klutzy. He took saxophone in junior high. And one day he came home from school and he left his saxophone in its case at the bottom of the stairs. And Bob and I were at the bottom of the stairs, and he said, take your saxophone up to your room. So he picked it up, but just doing that threw his balance off, and he knocked into one wall, and then he overcorrected and ricocheted into the banister, and then kind of continued falling over the thing, stumbling up the stairs and knocking into the walls until he finally fell into his room. And Bob turned to me and he goes, that kid will not be a pallbearer at my funeral.
That's Bob's humor.
That tells you what Bob is like. That's him. So you also, I had kind of an agricultural childhood, and you did too. What is your secret? Because you're massively successful, Fred.
So I started out on a small ranch in Penryn, California, and what I think what helps us become successful in life is our failures and hard work, Joni. I think you can just work so hard that it eventually comes to you. Again, people always say, well, how do you become successful, Fred, in business? They said, isn't it part of it luck? And I say, of course it is, but I put myself in lucky positions.
And that's where the hard work comes in.
That's exactly right. You have to put yourself in a lucky position and work hard to get yourself there. So sometimes you become lucky and you hit it right. But it's okay to fail. That's what I've tried to tell people. It's okay to fail. Get back up. And remember, you were talking at dinner one time, and you said, hey, I want to use that in my little blog or something.
It was an article. I write a weekly column for Meridian Magazine. And when you said your answer to somebody, when they came to you with all these problems, you said, move forward. And
no other option.
I just love that. Just 2 simple words that can solve so many of your problems.
That's right.
Stop wallowing. Get back up out of the mire. We all fail. We all trip. Now move forward. I love that. It's a great formula, and it's kind of the secret, one of the secrets to your success.
So tell me about what it was like living in Hollywood. Tell me about the Hollywood scene. Everybody thinks it's like some big, crazy, wild, but it's really a lot of family, kind of friends, and enjoyable times.
Yeah.
Just playing cards together. And Dick Clark was a friend of yours?
A very good friend, yes. What people don't realize is that in Hollywood, you'd be surprised how everybody kind of knows everybody. So like you're watching the Academy Awards and you think, oh, there's so-and-so and so-and-so. I wonder if they know each other. They all know each other. They hang out. It's a tight community, tighter than you would think.
Right.
So a lot of, and they all live there, so you bump into them at the dry cleaners and the you see them all the time. And most of them are nice. They're just people.
Tell us how nice. You always tell me, and so did Bob, what a wonderful man Dick Clark was. I always like to hear. He is exactly
so
what
nice.
he was. Wasn't
Let
he?
me tell you how nice Dick Clark was. Here's a guy. Okay, we had invented and developed and marketed a cleaning product, and it went national. It was this huge, big thing. And at one point, we wanted it to be on Home Shopping Network. But wouldn't it be great if we could just get somebody really, really great to take it on there? Bob told Dick Clark about it, who, by the way, had tried it and was crazy about it. He would call Bob and he'd go, I used it in the shower this morning. Man, this is great. And Bob would say, I don't want to picture you in the shower, Dick.
That's exactly right.
So anyway, he said, we want to get this on HSN. And you know what he did? He said, I'll do it. For nothing. This is a guy, he could have charged, $50,000 to somebody to go do this. Flew himself there, put himself up, went on there, demonstrated how great this product was, cleaning all these different things for free. I mean, he was just a friend who would do anything. One time I was so embarrassed. Bob was announcing one of Dick's shows. They partnered on a lot of things. And after the show was over, they had taped off certain areas for VIPs or whatever, and we had brought a couple of our kids, and one of our kids had taken the masking tape and had made a ball. And he was up in the top of the auditorium following this tape trail, making this ball, and then thought, I'm just going to throw it. And he threw it over his head backwards, and it hit Dick Clark in the head.
Nice.
You couldn't do that if you tried. It's this huge auditorium.
That's awesome. That's
Dick
great.
was so nice about it.
Probably laughed.
Oh, yeah. It was like, who cares? He was just really... here's a person who could have been very arrogant, and he wasn't at all. He was just down-to-earth, nice person.
Tell me how you become successful as a mother and as a wife in a world that you're working, you've got children, you've got a job. There's so much to do in life. How do you become successful? How do you balance it all, Joni? What did you do?
We could talk for 80 hours about parenting and how to do it right. And all of us look back with regrets at mistakes we've made. Nobody does it perfectly. But you try to do your best. And spirituality's huge for me, and trying to get my kids to have a close relationship with their Father in heaven is paramount. But littler things that people might not think of that I think I did maybe a little differently. Well, first of all, we emphasized hard work. Manners was huge. And I always wanted to find out who my kids were meant to be instead of molding them to be what I wanted them to be. So even when I had a little baby, it was like, what are you going to grow up and do? What are you going to be? This is so interesting. Who are you?
Right.
And so all our kids went into completely diverse fields.
No Hollywood.
Oh, no Hollywood.
Oh.
No. And they're so fascinating to me. They're hilarious. They're fun. We have a blast. When they come home, we get in the kitchen, we cook, we play games, we talk. Even now, I'll text them and we'll go back and forth, and it's a scream. It's just funny. They're all being who they're meant to be. And if I can pat myself on the back for something, it's that I didn't push them all into one mold. I let them just, you like this? Let's pursue that. That may be what you're meant to do. Okay. And I think encouraging people, well, I bet you did that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's.
What was your secret? What was your
a good wife?
parenting?
That was my secret. Was the
There
good
you
wife,
go.
not
Yeah,
me. It was
she's
a
awesome.
good wife. I tell you right
Yeah.
now. I've always told everybody, it's who you marry is the most important thing.
Oh, that's the biggest decision you make. And it accounts, someone said, one of our church leaders said, it accounts for like 90% of your happiness in life.
Yes.
Is picking the right person.
That's exactly right. They can
Yeah.
make you or break you.
Yes.
Let's face it, my wife
Yes.
married a different type of fella that definitely does not sit still and is up at 4 a.m. in the morning. She's like, going in the other room because you won't sleep. I said, I got my 7 hours. There's nothing else to do. So that's why I do it, right? So, yeah, that's
Finding the
I
right
think
mate.
it's just a good person that you have to be a team. Let's face it.
Right.
Being a team is the most important thing.
Being a
because-
team. Oh, so true.
and I know everybody can't have that, and I get that. But it's so
Yeah.
important to have a team, and as a team, raise those children.
And each of you has to give 100%. There's this notion that if everybody gives 50%, then it completes the whole.
Right.
No, everyone has to give 100.
Right, that's exactly right. You get 100, and sacrifice. Isn't it true sacrifice?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
If you're not prepared to sacrifice, you're not prepared to be married, and you're so not prepared to be a parent.
Right.
But if you find yourself there anyway, it will teach you sacrifice.
Right, that's exactly right.
It totally will. And you'll be blessed for it. You'll be better for having sacrificed. It doesn't, it sounds mathematically impossible.
Yes.
But it works.
Yes, that's exactly right. So, by the way, those of you who don't know, we had a highway patrol officer tailing us the whole time while we're driving, and I'm sitting there, and he's literally on my tail.
Oh my gosh!
So he's looking at the cameras. We have cameras on the outside.
So he's thinking, should I pull him over?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's just saying, "What the heck is he doing?"
Yeah.
That's a fun time. We're just driving. I'm going, well, I'm doing the speed limit, so you can't say anything
Yeah,
about
give him
that.
no reason.
Well, okay. So how about? So in business, in life, and I know without getting into, everyone's got their own, beliefs, but you are always been a God-fearing woman, and I appreciate that.
I'm all in, yeah.
And you said spirituality. I think, no matter what religion you are or what you believe, a little bit of spirituality is good for the soul. Do you believe
Yes.
that?
In fact, my job at church is interfaith. And I love and celebrate anyone who finds a connection with their Maker in any way they can, and it can give them calm and assurance and answers. I want to say this.
Yes.
I believe in prayer. I once read an article. I used to write for all the women's magazines, and I read an article in one of them one time, and it was talking about prayer being comforting, like self-meditation, like you can express your thoughts and you can do this and do. And it got to the end of the article and I was like, you guys don't get what prayer is. You're talking to your dad. That's your heavenly Father.
Right.
And you can get answers. You're not just spewing words into the universe. There's someone listening. And to me, this is huge, getting answers, because life is hard. We all have adversity. I'm battling cancer right now. Yes. This is a wig. Yes. Me and my wig are happy to be here with you.
Yes, we love Joni's wig. We love Joni's wig.
And I'm totally cool with it.
And I've known Joni before she had this battle with cancer, and that's basically what her hair looked like before. So she's definitely long blonde. That's nothing new.
I do have a lot. Well, it's going to take forever to grow it back.
That's
so
okay.
what?
That's okay. Bob doesn't have all his hair, so
there you go. We'll race.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But seriously, life is full of all kinds of stuff. You get 1-2 punches all the time. Things people don't even know about, and that's okay. But because of it, gosh, you need that connection. You need answers. You need to be able to ask God, should I do this or this? Mm-hmm. I've researched it. I don't know what to do. What a blessing to know that you can actually get a prompting, and it's like a little, still small voice in your chest almost, and you know it didn't come from your own head because it isn't the choice you would have made.
Right.
But it's the right answer.
Right.
And oh my gosh, to have that certainty makes life so much easier.
Especially in the difficult times.
And yes, and with parenting. Yes. Oh my heavens, none of us really know what we're doing. Right. and
my wife does, I don't.
But it's so great to be able to say, should I do this or should I just shut up? Right. Often for me the answer is just shut up. Right. One time, all our kids are grown, and one of our kids, I've been nagging him to go to the doctor. And I said, you really got to go to the doctor. I said, I hate to nag. And he said, do you? I don't think you do.
My arm's off, Mom. You're good. Here's a Band-Aid.
It's like,
I can see Bob. Yeah, go out and play with one arm, son.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So, and then there's, marriage. How is it that, Bob's a wonderful man, and I know him personally, and you're a wonderful woman, but I guarantee you guys had some disagreements in life.
Oh, who doesn't?
And
who doesn't?
How do you keep your marriage together and successful?
You know what? You decide right the very first day, even before the first day, that you won't even entertain the option of a breakup. The D word, divorce, the D word will never be spoken. You won't think of it. When problems arise, you'll roll up your sleeves and you'll say, how do we solve this? What can we do? And you got to be willing to compromise. You can't be hard-headed.
Right.
Because you know what? A lot of people who are hard-headed, they find mousy spouses, and they think, this works. I run all over her and she just agrees, or I run all over him and he lets me do it. But guess what? The mousy person isn't really happy.
That's right.
And you want your spouse, I read this one time online, and I'm going to paraphrase it, to look at you the way we look at the waiter when he's bringing dessert. Right?
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, that's the way, and you want your spouse to feel that way. You want them to feel like, man, I am so lucky. How did I get so lucky? That's what you want them to feel like. So every day, if you can consciously remember, but life intrudes and I get distracted, but if you can remember every day to think, what could I do that would just absolutely delight my husband or my wife?
That's a good idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
I've learned the two most important words in marriage are yes, ma'am.
Good.
That I've learned, and I'm not kidding. I tell people all the time, I got in an argument with my wife. Why'd you argue with her? Just let her do what she wants. And they're like, well,
Yes.
yeah. And then they go, but then you're just pushed around. I go, no, I still go do what I want and I get in trouble later.
Okay.
But I said yes, ma'am.
Let me tell you something, because I do this with Bob a little bit. And one of our kids, I won't say which one, once said to me, you just cave in and just say yes to everything, that you're weak. I said, oh, you so have it backwards. I'm strong. I'm strong enough to realize that I don't care about this. I'll let him have it.
Yeah.
However he wants to do this, I don't care.
That's not important to me.
It's not in the grand scheme.
Right.
Most stuff
Right.
people argue about is so stupid that a year later, if you said, what were you arguing about? They don't even know.
But here's the difference, though. I'm going to jump on the men's side, okay? I don't remember what I did yesterday, Joni. I bet you could tell Bob in 1997 on the 5th day and the 6th hour what he did wrong. Because my wife brings it up all the time. And I just say, okay, I guess I did.
Here's the difference.
Okay.
Here's one of the differences between men and women. We keep a file box with 3x5 cards of all your crimes.
That's exactly right.
And we never throw any of those cards out.
That's exactly
And we can refer to them at any moment.
And they're in your mind,
Oh, yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're in neon color.
That's exactly
And so anytime you flub, we're ready to go. That's just like what you said 3 years ago, or 8 years ago, or 18 years ago. Yeah, we're ready to remind you that this is a pattern.
Yeah.
This is not a one-time thing. You better fix this. That's women.
But
I'm
we're
sorry.
smart.
I'm sorry if that sounds sexist to any women, but I'm admitting we have great memories of everything.
Phenomenal memories.
Of everything you've ever done wrong.
Phenomenal memories.
Even things you've apologized
I know,
for.
I-
I know, it's awful.
And here's the worst part as the man. You can't refute it. You know you don't know what you're talking about. You know
That's
you
right.
are at fault.
That's right.
So it's like you just go, I did? She goes, yep. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
And usually I apologize for it too. I'm sorry this happened 5 years ago.
And kept happening. And is still happening.
Then I'll say, did I apologize back then too? Yes, you did. Okay, I'll do it again.
See, now here's where we need to be more forgiving.
Yeah.
And let it go and drop it. But we just
Okay,
can't.
Yeah.
It's just
Okay.
how we're wired.
Oh, it's been so fun. So you are now presently, you still do your little, I call it a vlog, but you have your YouTube
Mom. And I have a humor blog that I
Humor
write
blog.
every week, and I never run out of material. And I don't think I ever will.
Well, today you're gonna be able to write about this now. I got to go in
Well,
a
nothing
nice
went
vehicle.
wrong. It was really fun.
Yeah.
I usually write about things that go wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's just piles of it all around. So I never run out. Yeah. And I have, all my books that I'm doing. And I wrote a musical about my husband's cancer.
Yes.
A comedy musical.
Yes.
That's not every wife's response to her husband's prostate cancer, but that was mine.
Yes.
It is the funniest cancer. I'm sorry. It begs to be made into a musical. So
Don't you just love those of you listening out there? This woman is so positive. PMA, positive mental attitude. Everything's got a positive twist on it.
And you know what? Here's the thing. I think Heavenly Father blessed me with a naturally cheery disposition. But I think if you don't have one, you can get one. None of our talents are finite things. We're all born with talents, but you can get more. You can say, I really need that one. Please help me develop that one, and you can have it. So you can become an optimist and a cheery person if you want to.
Exactly right. This has been a wonderful opportunity to sit with Joni Hilton. I'm Frederick Penney, your host of Radio Law Talk. My good friend Joni Hilton has taught you everything you need to know.
Oh, everything.
And if you follow it, you'll be successful in life. Thank you, Joni.
Thank you,
Appreciate all
Fred.
you've
It's
done.
been fun.
It's been a blast.